I met her. I'm Henna's. And I review films that other people have seen but I've neglected. And to celebrate 10th anniversary, I thought, let's check out the 2012 Mads Mikkelsen starring Thomas Vinterberg film, The Hunt. I am a big fan of Thomas Vinterberg from what I've seen already. I think Festen is a masterpiece and I really loved Another Round as well. All I know about this is Mads Mikkelsen plays a school teacher who's accused of touching kids. So let's go. So, Lucas, played by Mads Mikkelsen, is a nursery school teacher who's going through a divorce. We don't know how recent that is, but he has joint custody of his son, but is only able to see him sparingly despite his son Marcus's insistence. She doesn't want him to see him any more than he does. Though his luck starts to change when he starts dating a co-worker named Nadia. But also his ex-wife finally agrees to let him see his son more often. However, after a miscommunication with a child at his nursery who kisses him, Clara, who is also the daughter of Lucas's best friend, Theo, she decides to tell a lie because she's angry with him for essentially telling her you can't do that and it's not appropriate. And she tells one of the other teachers, Gretchen, that she saw his willy. And after looking into it, he's suspended and everything just starts to go tits up, big time. And Gretchen doesn't really help matters by telling the other parents of these allegations, tells them, you know, we need to look to see if there's any signs in any of the other children to see if they may have been abused by Lucas as well. And some of the signs that she gives are really vague, like bedwetting and having nightmares. That's like the fucking MO of a small child, wetting the bed and having nightmares. I mean, and as a result, the parents believe, as other kids exhibit these symptoms, that Lucas has indeed abused more than just the one child, and it just all snowballs from there. You're probably wondering, ooh, Henry, how did this little girl know how to describe something so specific at her age? Well, I'm glad you asked, discerning viewer. So early on, we see Clara's brother and a friend of his, I guess, running around watching adults getting on famously in the buff. And they show this to her. So there you go. That allegation is especially incriminating from everyone else's point of view, since Clara regularly goes wandering off and Lucas is usually there to spot her and walk her back home or to the nursery, which from the outside looking in doesn't really help his case much. So to start off, this is a tremendous drama. It's one of the best films from the last 10 years I think I've seen. It's interesting given that it makes a good companion piece with Vinterberg's debut feature Festen, which also revolves around an allegation of child abuse. And like this, it also stars Thomas Bo Larsen, who I think is just a terrific actor. He was great in Another Round as well. It is a shame that this didn't win the Best Foreign Language Film Oscar, though the nominations that year were surprisingly on point. That's really rare. Mads Mikkelsen did get the Best Actor award at Cannes, though, with a really formidable performance from our guy Mads. He's really one of the great screen talents of this generation. There's the initial disbelief where everyone just starts closing in on him. You know, the whole concept of this event occurring is just so abstract, so far removed for him, and just trying to rationalise how any of this is happening must be... oh my god. I also like how it establishes just how integral and beloved that Lucas is to the community, and just the juxtaposition towards the end where everyone is against him with allegations that, you know, there's no evidence for it, and this all climaxes with that supermarket scene. I mean, it's fucking tragic what happened to him. And it's even worse because he's kept completely in the dark about it and no one will discuss the allegations with him, so he has no idea what he's supposed to have done. Yet everyone knows the extent of it in full detail. He gets barred from everywhere, it seems. And even his son is told that he's not welcome at the supermarket just by association of his dad, which is ridiculous. This really does perfectly illustrate just how toxic mob mentality can be. There is a lot going on in this film. The hunting of deer is used in the background, perhaps to highlight going after people who are innocent and have done nothing wrong or harmed anyone. It really reminds me of what's going on at the moment with cancel culture. Just one little thing, and like that, you've lost your job and sometimes friends. I mean, you can't even talk to a girl now without fear of being accused of something. You know, I don't want to look someone in the eye because they might yell at me just for being a man.
Females, am I right?
Yes.
I had to go in there for a minute, didn't I? Yeah, I'm not a Trump supporter, don't worry.
We can't be out here grabbing pussies anymore. It's a tremendous disgrace. Sad.
It is quite concerning that there are genuinely men out there who think that. If you're fearing being accused of something, then perhaps you're not a great person. Just a thought. The whole film's very understated, but I thought that the writing and the direction here was just top notch. Also, the actor who played Clara, Annika Vedekop, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She's amazing. When she's asked to recall the events that she claimed to have happened a second time in front of someone else, there was this thing that she did, sort of did a little sniff whenever she responded, and I don't know if this was just a piece of direction to indicate that she was lying. I mean, she did it so much. I didn't realise that Theo has a twitch in his eye when he lies. Clearly that was a creative decision. The cinematography is wonderful, utilising mostly handheld to get really close to the subject of the film, and this is something I've come to expect from Vinterberg's films. It's interesting because Clara goes back on what she initially said, that it was just something foolish, but the adults ironically don't believe it was a lie and that it was just simply her burying her trauma. All the while, as a child, she's completely unaware of the extent her dishonesty has resulted in ruining Lucas's life. I don't know where this idea that children don't lie comes from, because children lie all the time. I mean, certainly I did, usually to escape the consequences of their actions. As they said, children do have vivid imaginations, but the problem is it's really tough to look past that and think, well, how would a child know to talk about this without it actually happening to themselves? Some other stuff happens which I won't give away. You can discover it for yourself, but this is a tough film. It is, however, technically a Christmas film, so I'll be popping this on for the family come December. Oh no! I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. This is a really powerful watch, and Vinterberg is he's one of my favourite filmmakers working today. But I will also say that if you're looking for something similar, there was a British film released in 2020 that made my top 10 of the year called Lynn and Lucy. Check it out. It's grim. But it's also very affecting and a great example of mob mentality and how it can really strangle some people to the point of doing some really nasty things. So those were my thoughts on The Hunt. Spectacular stuff. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought of it in the comments, and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can follow me on Letterboxd if you want to follow more of my thoughts on films. I'll see you all very soon. Farewell. If Carlsberg did films, they'd be the best films in the world. You know, I think the Danish team have got a good shot at the World Cup this year. I think they could top the group ahead of France. That will see a repeat of 1992, but you never know. In fact, I think this is the 1992 kit. I'm not entirely sure. I think it is.